My name is Henry John Rahaman, and I presently live in Malaysia, and I work for a company. I have been working for them for the last 51 years, and in that time I was afforded the opportunities to travel worldwide. I am from Trinidad in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, and I have been working in the oilfield industry since I left school. And it afforded me to see many countries. I've been all over South America. I have worked in the United States for 5 or 6 years. And then I came to Asia, which I am in Asia now for like 21 years, sorry. And I have worked in Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia now, but I have traveled all over the Far East, India, just about all the countries doing service work. When I first came to Asia, I was the country manager for Singapore. Then when I went to Indonesia, I was the country manager there. And when I came to Malaysia, I was in charge of, I was the operations manager for the oilfield services for our company. About 10 years ago, I started manufacturing products for the company I work with, and that's what I'm doing presently. So I would say that I was in place to cover many aspects of operations. Even what I do now, although it's manufacturing, I run a full manufacturing operations. Having to locate it in one particular place is always better for us, and what we normally do is we do evaluations on the various countries that we're going to deal with. For in this case, for example, like what I'm doing now, we have established a manufacturing facility, warehousing facility. But what we do before we make that decision, we do evaluations of labor cost, embargo, just to be certain that the country that we're going to do this in is not an embargoed country. Cost of raw material, commodities like water and electricity, full supply of local labor force that can be trained, labor laws that we can work with, and access to cheaper raw material suppliers who can follow all protocols and procedures like ISO 9001, ISO 14000, and so on. And ease of distribution to international countries. This is how we go by in selecting. Like for example, how we selected Malaysia for not only manufacturing, but also for our distribution of other services. So this is how we really go by selecting or where you put or locate a facility. Well, actually, for what we have done in one facility in one place is better for us. In that way, we have a better control on quality. We have a better control on raw materials that we receive, and we mostly use where we are as a nucleus for training, for manufacturing quality that is of a better quality. Products that is of a better quality. So we have always chosen one place. For example, the company I work for, the manufacturing plant that I work at, it supplies the whole of the Eastern Hemisphere. Then we have facilities in the US that one big facility in the US that manufactures for South America and the Southern Hemisphere. And we feel in that way it's better for us to have a better control on the quality of our products. Because the industry we work in, which is the oilfield industry, is very competitive. And you want to make sure that you maintain a quality standard throughout. Well, I'll start off by giving you percentages. For example, here in Malaysia, where we have our operations, we supply about 10% to local consumers. Regional is about 15%, and when I say regional, the Far East area, right? And internationally, we do about 80%, and that will include the Far East, Middle East, Europe, Australia, and places like that. To some extent, we even supply products to our headquarters in the US. So we are structured to handle all markets, but basically we keep our facilities in strategic areas where we can have a far outreach to any corners of the world. I'm going to answer this question like what I presently do in my facility. One of the things we look at, one of our structures to keep adequate finished goods, like completed products, and one of the other things we look at is to make sure that we have an adequate supply of raw materials to do orders that are rushed. How we go about structuring ourselves as far as finished goods is we take a historical evaluation on past sales. For example, when we're doing evaluations on how much raw materials and finished products, what we do is we look at our 5-month sales and we structure it in a manner to say, well, our main goal is to turn around orders within the least period of time. And in order to do that, we have to have finished products. And to have finished products, you have to have already access to raw materials. And of course, a good trained labor force. So that is basically how we handle and how we look into how we get ourselves ready to face the market. If we see the market is increasing in volume, we step up to the plate and increase our finished goods, and we make sure that our suppliers are well advised that we are increasing so they could get more raw materials to give us the products we want. Well, actually, it depends on the demand for the type of products we sell. All right, and what we normally will do here is from buyer's reflection of the current market. Orders received. So you don't want to build up with too much of stuff. Like what is happening to us now with the downturn in the oilfield industry, we end up with a lot of stuff, a lot of finished goods, a lot of raw materials, and that it takes up a lot of space. You know, you turn in dollars into a finished product. So what happens there is you end up with finished goods. You have used up your liquidity of your cash. You turn it into a product and it's not being sold. So your returns. So that's a big deterrent for us. So we kind of keep abreast with the market demands and requirements. And but in the oilfield industry, which I've been working with since I started off working, is very unpredictable. So we are very cautious, and we keep a good look at what the market is requiring. So we kind of make cautious steps towards that end. In that we always keep ourselves ready with technology. We keep ourselves ready with finished goods, making sure that all your machinery that is used to make these products are always properly serviced and so on. So what we try to do is to keep a well lubricated machine in the sense of the word. Make sure that all our raw materials that is required, trained personnel who may have to go on site, and we work towards that end. So that is very important to us as a company, to make sure that we are always ready to serve customers, so they won't look the other way, because as I said, it's quite competitive. We are very tuned to that. How our company works is we have our head of engineering department is in Conroe, Texas. And anything we do, any changes, any new products we're bringing online, everything is fed to us from the States, from the US. And we are very strong as a company into technology. Another thing we do is feedback to our engineering department. So technologically, they are always one step ahead of us. Like if we're designing a new product or we are building a new product, they would send all the latest technological advances and all the changes and so on. So we are well in tune in that. So technology to us, new technology, cutting edge technology is very, very important to our survival. Well, no, we as a company, we always want ourselves to be a leader in whatever we do. So it is important to us that we devise our own technology, because just for example, the products that we make is very, very competitive, very competitive. We have maybe about 4 or 5 different competitors always changing stuff and trying to do better. We are very, very much in tune with technology and patents. You know, we have patents to cover all our equipment and all our parts and pieces. So towards that end, we always like to be there with the edge cutting technology. All right, some of the challenges we face, like in Malaysia here, as far as technology is concerned, what we have found with most of our suppliers, that they don't use the latest technology per se. And the transfer of technologies, like I just explained, to train our people here, or to train the guys over here, it's a bit difficult. That's a challenge. The other thing is, right now with the downturn in the industry, they're getting, the company I work for, we're getting a little, very, or I should say, we're looking at cost. So in the days when money was flowing a lot better than it is now, we used to send guys, you know, to the States to train and so on. That's something that we kind of limit now because of the financial constraints. But we are strong on training from a technological side, and the other thing is maintaining our staff. In Asia, people are not they are not faithful to the company as how it is, how it used to be. Like yourselves or myself, I'm working with this company 51 years. So you would find you waste money on, or I shouldn't say waste, they spend money on training people. And when they're fully trained and you think you have them, they would leave the job for like a slightly higher salary. You know, so, and those are one of the things that really affects us. But working in countries like Malaysia, who seems to be picking up, you know, from the technological side, computer literacy here seems to be okay. And even our suppliers, we are finding it difficult to stay with them up to the technology, from a technological standpoint, you know, to get up to the speed we want them to. So that is a big challenge. And we are also ever fighting, you know, to get them up on top of that. Just for example, some of the companies that work for us, they're supposed to have, you know, various programs in their computers to, you know, to read drawings and so on. And we're still struggling with that. So towards that end, we're very strong on it. And we try to encourage them on it, you know, and it seems to be getting better than when we first started.